Welcome back to Taiwan Outlook. Our guest today is Dr. David Hong. He is the president of Taiwan Institute of Economic Research, and Dr. Chiang, research fellow at the TIER. Dr. Hong, we've been talking about the so-called clean energy as an issue in the APEC. But we know there's a big divide between the so-called more efficient countries and also those poor, have-not countries. So how can we bridge the gap between the two?
By introducing this year's Economic Leaders Initiative, we suggest to have a platform to call together everybody. That's the exchange about the different level or different usage pattern, and so we can learn each other. So that is a very good opportunity, and that could be a business opportunity too for everybody. So that is our initiative called the Green APEC Opportunity.
That's right.
Okay.
And how about this kind of so-called energy cleaning activities on every individual countries?
Okay. Clean energy, as I mentioned earlier, that is so important to the climate change. So how to produce energy clean, how to use energy efficiently to save energy, is very important too. And there's one critical issue is about energy price. The energy price should reflect the reasonable cost. Should not suppress the energy price for too long, because the people may waste it, the energy, and maybe you would not be able to encourage those kind of alternative energy industry.
That's right.
So that's very important.
So you should be affordable, but not too cheap, in some way.
Yes.
Right. But as we know that in this region, among the APEC member states, you do have some divide, between two blocks of countries. For instance, in terms of IT sectors, there are stronger countries, more competitive countries such as Taiwan, Japan, and so on. Yes. But there are also low IT sectors, countries such as Southeast Asian countries. So has the APEC been doing anything to try to bridge the gap between the rich and the poor countries? Johnny?
Yeah, this APEC is doing a lot of things to bridge the gap for APEC members in different area or different dimensions. IT is one of the dimensions.
Yeah.
And other thing, the economy gap or income gap, or even we call the ECOTE, the economy and technical cooperation.
Yeah.
In this process, APEC has been doing a lot of things. And in terms of IT, I think in year 2000, APEC set up a goal we call Brunei goal, because that year the APEC meeting was held in Brunei. So the goal is to try to reach the target of broadening the internet access for everyone in these regions. And they want to reach the goal by 2010, which is like 3 years later. And so far, the progress has been remarkable. And in this process, I think Taiwan is one of the main contributors. Is try to bring those developing countries to bridge the gap between them and like advanced economy like Taiwan, Japan, and others.
That's right. Dr. Hong.
One thing we should look at is to bridge the gap in terms of usage. Because electronic device or internet nowadays is a very important resource, very important device that you can use it in the business, in education, in daily life. So there's a different level of this kind of usage, and that should be shortened or making up quickly. Okay, but we are not talking about the production side. We are not talking about production technology, because there are some big difference among different countries, and that is not very easy to change.
That's
and
right.
that would take much longer. So what we are talking about is the usage.
Or the so-called accessibility.
Accessibility,
in the region. But as we know that Taiwan was not a founding member of the APEC.
Right.
It joined the APEC in 1991. So it's been 16 years, 15 years since Taiwan being a member of it. So looking back, has Taiwan benefited anything from the APEC development? Dr. Hong?
Of course, number one, that we show up in that kind of international community.
Yeah.
Right. Without that, and then we will have only problem on the WTO to be with other people. So that to let other people know and let other people meet us face to face, then we can discuss all the economic issues or even some other issues, also those other 20 members. And that part certainly is very important. That's very, very beneficial to us. And number two is that we use the APEC as a kind of a training ground for our people, especially for our younger people, to learn how to do international business in those kind of APEC meeting or APEC occasion. And that certainly is very important. In the future, actually, we should consider to bring our college students to go to those kind of occasions and just be observing what things going on. That certainly is very important. And besides that, certainly our business benefit from the APEC too, because that we have those kind of business summit, business leader summit. We have major business people show up in the APEC occasion, and that they can exchange the technology, they could exchange about the business opportunity with others, so that's also benefit us too. And so certainly we benefit from APEC.
You mentioned earlier that most people pay attention only to the so-called summit meeting, leaders meeting. So actually there are all kinds of all levels of meetings, workshops in the APEC system. So Professor Chiang, could you tell us a little bit about these kind of different levels of workshops, meetings, and conferences and so on?
Basically, there are about 3 or 4 levels. The lowest level is we call the working group meetings or task force meetings. And then the above of this level is the senior official levels. And there are average 4 meetings for the senior officials.
Every year.
Yeah, every year. We call SOM meeting. And then the higher one is the ministerial meeting. Each year we got annual ministerial meetings, and also we have a sectoral ministerial meetings. The annual ministerial meetings usually participate by foreign minister or economic ministers, or both. But for Taiwan, because the opposition from China, so that we cannot send our foreign minister to participate the annual ministerial meetings. And then the highest one we call leaders meeting, and that's also after 1993 it becomes an annual event for APEC, and also is a hotspot for international medias. So there are 4 levels in terms of APEC's meeting. So totally, usually there are about 100 to 200 meetings each year.
So these are good opportunities for Taiwan to participate in the process.
Yeah. So I just want to add something to Dr. Hong's point about what can we benefit from those meetings or from the APEC process. I think the number one benefit is that the information gathering and idea sharing. Because if you are the outsider, think about if you are the outsider, you would be quite nervous about what's going on inside the room, even though they didn't talk about anything. But you would be very suspicious about what they are talking about. So being an outsider is always not good for Taiwan. And second is that besides showing yourself or showing your strengths, I think we also get something from there. That's we can use the process to open other economies markets. Besides liberalizing yourself, you also try to open other countries' market. I think that's good for Taiwan's business and economy. And finally, besides economic cooperation, actually APEC now is talking about non-economic cooperation, which is about human security cooperation. And I think that's even more important for Taiwan. Like we talk about international health corporations. We are not a member of WHO, but I think this is so far the only international approach or the regional international approach for Taiwan to participate. and it's very real, very pragmatic. So from there, you can get a lot of things if you really want to participate.
Yeah.
And then you talk about counterterrorism. We are not a member of the UN, but through the APEC, you can get information or even can contact with the United States or other regional non-diplomatic allies countries to talk about counterterrorism.
That's right.
And also other also the energy security or other human security issues. I think that's a very good platform for Taiwan.
Yes.
One more thing, by going there and then talking or express our concern to other areas, other countries, disaster or problems, and that's a soft power.
Yeah.
That show our sympathy, show our feelings, show our support, and that kind of soft power, I think, is very important for Taiwan.
Yeah, but apparently APEC is a very important economic organization, but there are also other regional economic cooperation mechanisms, organizations developing, including the so-called ASEAN.
Yeah.
And do you think that ASEAN is a competitor for the APEC? Because Taiwan is not a member of ASEAN, and ASEAN is developing into a 10+1, 10+3, and so on. What's your take on that, Dr. Hong?
ASEAN certainly is nervous about the rise of China, is nervous about U.S. intervention or participation in the Asia area. And so they want to hold themselves together, and may become something stronger or later. But ASEAN countries are not as homogeneous as the EU. Europe. Okay, so for them to formulate something very, very unified and solid as a EU community body, I do believe it will take time. But no matter what, they are trying right now very hard, try to put together and to work together, and then after that, they may extend it to go north, and then talking about so-called something like a free trade, agreement for Asia Pacific, something like a FTA AP. Yeah. But before that, they probably want to do something for themselves first. And now the next question: where do we stand, Taiwan, right? Certainly 10+1, we are out. 10+3, we are out. 10+6, we don't know, probably won't be. And so we have to pay attention to what the ASEAN is doing, and China, Japan, Korea, United States. Anyway, FTA AP for the bigger area of Asia Pacific is certainly a natural step for Taiwan. So
the FTA AP initiated by the U.S. will be a natural process developing from the APEC. Do you think that's the case, Dr. Chiang?
Yeah, I think the case of FTA AP that has been talked about for more than 3 years. And fortunately, last year, the big support from the United States.
That's right.
So the issue becomes a main item in the APEC's agenda right now. I think that they will go on for a while.
Yeah.
And whether the FTAP will be really realized in the near future, I think I'm not that optimistic. But for the long run or for the long term, I think there are some possibility there.
Yeah.
But the development of FTAP or the realization of FTAP still depends on the regional situation, especially the leadership from the United States. If the United States think, well, it's important for its national interest, or strategically think the United States should try to push a little bit forward, I think the issues may have some significant development in the next few years. But if the United States think, well, I don't think FTAP will going to bring anything for United States. Then I think the issue will decline.
That's right. But in addition to participating in this regional economic integration process, Taiwan also needs to transform and upgrade itself in competing with other economies. So when we come back, we'll talk about what Taiwan can do and how Taiwan should do to improve our economy and try to survive and thrive in this globalized world. And don't go away, stay with us.